Alright, just gonna go ahead and make sure everything is good to go. Once we know stream's running. Alright, looks like everything's good to go. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the beautiful circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, here in Barcelona, Spain. This track's been around since 1991, and this is the original circuit layout. Now, there is another version of this track that was used from 2007 up until 2022. Where they had a chicane right at the last few corners, but it wasn't really popular with drivers or spectators. So in 2023, they just removed the chicane as the circuit was originally intended, and now that's the format we are using now today. So it's round 2 here of the Formula GT series. And I think we're going to have a pretty good race. Last time out in Brands Hatch, we had an absolutely amazing race with Whiteout taking the victory. And overall, it was just a very chaotic race from start to finish. Now, Barcelona is a bit of a longer track than Catalunya and a lot more complex. There's a reason why a lot of Formula 1 teams will use this track in their simulations as kind of like a test track, because this track has a little bit of everything. It's got high speed corners, got low speed corners, it's got medium speed corners, and also a lot of straights. So right now, well, off the bat, we have Sichan just going off into the gravel, or actually off to the runoff area, earning himself a nice 3-second penalty, but it's practice, it doesn't really matter. So if you are new here, first of all, welcome. My name is Patrick Coleman, or Ruckus for short, and we're here at round 2. So we have a 30-minute practice session followed by a 5-minute break and then a 10-minute qualifying. Oh, sorry. We have 30-minute practice session, 10-minute qualifying, 5-minute break to make sure drivers are hydrated, they get snacks, and that's how they operate. And then we go straight to the race. We have 30 laps here around this 2.9 mile circuit, so it is going to be an absolute blast. Barcelona is one of my personal favorite tracks, and I think it's going to be a fan favorite here in Formula GT as well. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. If it's your first time, make sure you leave a follow, just so you don't miss any of these racing actions. And also, be sure to check out our YouTube channel for VODs of every single race throughout the season. It's linked in the description. Make sure you follow Formula GT. The link is also in the description as well. And be sure to check out our sponsor, Fuel Can, to get yourself a nice bottle. It's actually really nice. I got one not too long ago, around the start of the preseason, and it is so nice. Dishwasher safe, especially if you're living in college life and you need it just to kind of quickly throw it in. It works perfectly. I'm seeing a lot of drivers now get these half-second penalties, so we'll see if that becomes a factor throughout the race. Unlike Formula 1, where penalties are applied like post-race or in the pit stops, there are specially dedicated slowdown zones that actually have where the car will slow down to a reduced speed for the time limit. So if it's 3 seconds, your car will slow down for 3 seconds. Half second is obviously half second. And I believe it's towards the middle or the beginning of Sector 2, maybe the beginning of Sector 3 is where that deceleration line is. Actually, here from the Canadian driver's perspective, you'll see it. And yeah, it's right on this straightaway, right near what would be the second DRS zone in Formula 1. So that is where the slowdown point is. Ideally, you'll want to get out of the way so you don't accidentally impede another driver, especially during qualifying, because then the stewards might have a field day with it. So we'll be qualifying for now up until the end of the hour, and then it's qualifying and then race time. So how are we doing today, chat? We having a good day so far? Hopefully, I know one of these drivers is looking to have an absolutely fantastic day going into this race. Speaking of fantastic, Viper puts in a pretty fantastic lap with a 1 minute 25. Very good stuff there from the British driver. Here's actually a change that I will want to bring up. So this race, because as an adjustment to the new tire model within Gran Turismo, which was a part of the massive handling model rework they did a couple weeks ago, tire wear has actually been decreased for this race and likely the rest of the subsequent races throughout the rest of the season. If you are unfamiliar with it or unaware, we run a 5X tire wear, so drivers will have to at least use at least 2 sets of tires. That still remains the same, but tire wear is now at 4 times instead of 5 times, so it's actually, there's a lot less tire degradation. And on a track where tire degradation is a really key factor, especially through some of these trickier sections like the tail end of Sector 3 and also the beginning of Sector 1 after the long straightaway, it's going to be tricky to kind of manage the tires here. You obviously want to run the softest compound available. We have soft and medium tires available for the entire grid. There are no hard tires available, and there was no rain, so intermediates and wets, while you can use them legally, I don't see why you would, because those wet tires have the life expectancy of milk put in a microwave on a dry track. So yeah, not recommended. So you really only have the soft and medium tire compounds available, and with Gran Turismo having a more simplified tire structure, you don't have the FIA, you know, C1, C2, C3, all those specific tire compounds. It is just purely soft and mediums available, and specifically the racing soft and mediums. I don't even know if you can put comfort hards or sports hards on these cars, not that I would recommend it. So we have some drivers here. We have J-Mac, who is back. I don't believe he was around for the last race. He is back now. He put out a very good performance during the preseason races. He was actually a reserve driver, but now I believe he might have actually gotten that full-time drive with IHR. Very cool to see. A very sleek and clean black and blue livery for the Honda-powered machine. Viper is going ahead and just still setting lap after lap of the fastest laps currently. He's got a 120. He has a 121.341, but with a penalty, that lap was invalidated. Granted, practice times don't really matter. The only time that really matters is when you hit qualifying. Because in practice, your main objective is just to get warmed up and just to get a good feeling of the track and car. Especially with the different tire degradation setting that we are running for this race. So it'll be very interesting to see if how these drivers adapt to the change in the regulations. And just for a little bit of extra fun fact for these cars, for some new people who may be tuning in, these cars are based on the Dallara Super Formula 23, which is, Super Formula is a Japanese open wheel racing series around the same performance caliber as Formula 2. They run 4-cylinder engines, which is pretty crazy how you can get 600 odd horsepower out of a 4-cylinder, but the Japanese in their engineering have done amazing with it. And J-Mac is actually putting in some pretty decent times himself. He's now actually on his first flying lap of the session with that blue and black ICR car. I almost called it HCR for high caliber racing, which hopefully we will have high caliber racing here today. We actually didn't have any IHR cars out at the last running at Brands Hatch, so hopefully we'll see some of those. Actually, we will be seeing those today. J-Mac here. So be very curious to see how everything goes for this one. I mean, this season has just some really awesome tracks that we'll be visiting throughout the course of the season, including absolutely amazing tracks. Like even the next one out at Spa over in Belgium. Spa is a fan favorite track. If you are also familiar with the Grand Prestige League that runs in Gran Turismo as well, they just recently had an endurance race at Spa. It was an absolute blast to be a part of, although I didn't race in it. Still really awesome. And yeah, Spa is a fan favorite track. And also, Spa is the largest track on that calendar, which is pretty crazy to think about. That round 3 has the longest track. It's about 7-ish miles around that circuit. Very popular track. a track with a lot of historical significance. But we're not here for Spa at the moment. That will be 2 weeks from now on the 28th. We are here at Barcelona. Barcelona is... It's a blast no matter what game or car category you drive it on. It's just so much fun. It's definitely on my bucket list for tracks I want to visit. Very good. So right now I think we only have 4 drivers out on track. We have Viper, who's just now exiting the pits. Oh, I think Viper actually had to change liveries. I think that was it. Yeah, that looks more familiar. He's running the Deadeye Racing livery now. He was running an Aston Martin livery, which I think he used that for a separate league entirely. But honestly, both are cool leagues in their own right. And Deadeye Racing actually had a really strong showing. He was also just now taking the chance to show us some of the gravel. Meant to slow down the cars. Fun fact, these cars are not fans of gravel. So you definitely want to stay out of the gravel as much as humanly possible. But back to what I was saying about Deadeye Racing. Deadeye Racing actually had a really strong showing here. And it was actually a very strong position. P2 for Viper, and I believe Viper also got pole position. Let's go ahead, just on my end, I'm gonna pull up the race results. Yeah, so actually it was a 2nd and 4th place finish for Viper and Flaring Aces, which we don't have Flaring Aces here currently. He is the other Deadeye Racing driver. A little bit of lag there, but it didn't seem like as big of a problem as it could have been. I know sometimes Gran Turismo has some spotty connection, but last race it was pretty solid, and I'm fairly certain it's going to be pretty solid here too. Now, track limits can be a factor on this circuit because it's a very twisty circuit. So we're starting to get more drivers. They're filling in now. So we have about 17-ish minutes until qualifying is wrapped up, or practice is wrapped up, and then we go straight to qualifying from here. And then we'll give the drivers a bit of a 5-minute break just so they can hydrate, stretch, restroom, whatever they need to do. Because at the end of the day, we want to see these drivers at their best. And if you're dehydrated, which this is your daily reminder, if you haven't had water yet, please drink it. Water is very good for you. I know Red Bull may give you the energy or whatever your energy drink of choice is, but it is not a substitute for water. I don't care what you believed in college. Totally not calling myself out there, but yeah, we want to ensure that these drivers are hydrated and they're comfortable and ready for the race ahead, because it's going to be pedal to the metal from now until the end of the 30 laps here at Barcelona. J-Mac out here currently on an improved lap, but not a faster lap. But Viper just says, all right, I'm going to set a new faster lap. I'm expecting qualifying to even be, for some of these qualifying times, we might even see, we might be in the 120s, because Viper right now looking very impressive there. And he's hit a 121, just barely into the 121. So I'm expecting a 120 to be on the cards here. And at this pace, it looks like he's already about to hit the 120 mark. Because he's on a faster lap at the moment. The Toyota powered car of the Deadeye Racing machine. But some of the sponsors of the league here, obviously we got to shout them out. IHR Karting Accessories, we got Velocity Media, FuelCan.shop. Oh, and there's the half-second penalty. He was on track to set a new fastest lap, but that time limit, or that track, is definitely track limits. We're going to see track limit penalties in this race, I am sure of it. Even though we have the best drivers in the entirety of the Super Formula category for Gran Turismo 7, drivers make mistakes. It happens, they're only human. Even though that time might suggest otherwise. It would have been the fastest time of the session, but track limits, the time gets deleted. If we didn't have that in place, then we would see more shortcuts than on Mario Kart Wii. If you're unfamiliar with that, Mario Kart Wii is notorious for having some of the most broken shortcuts in kart game history. Almost, well, actually, it's way more on par than Crash Nitro Kart, because Crash Nitro Kart, you were supposed to take those shortcuts. Kind of want them to make another game about that, but that could be a topic for another day. So we have Kill Switch now. I guess Kill Switch. Oh no, sorry, that's the Project Zero kart. The cars are kind of similar, so at a first glance, it might trick my brain. So the Project Zero cars, they've had mixed luck in this series for the season, especially during preseason. Like, there was cars that got near the pole, front row starts, and then they ended up towards the back because of a lap 1 mishap. Oh, speaking of mishaps, Kill Switch is right into the gravel. Project Zero driver just not able to keep it on the track at the moment. But it's okay, it's during practice, and no damage to the car, not like that would carry over to qualifying. But it's just still something you definitely want to avoid. I mean, hey, best bet is he just got it out of his system now, before qualifying hits, in 13 minutes from now. Oh, it sounded like a little bit of a slide there from the Canadian driver of C-Chan. And it's curious how we only have 5 drivers currently on circuit. Could be a bit concerning if we get to qualifying and there's only 5 drivers. We had twice this last race, so maybe some drivers are still trying to file in. I know sometimes servers take a while to get up and running. Actually, looking at the attendance, we're only scheduled to have 7 drivers here, but we may get more, we may get less. We'll just have to see as it gets closer and closer to qualifying. I think some drivers have joined, it's just they haven't actually, because when you join a lobby, you have to actually enter the track. So that is something you have to do. And also some drivers, like we saw with Viper earlier, sometimes you just come in with the wrong livery on your car. And then you just kind of switch it up sometimes. Thank you, J-Mac. Thank you, good sir. Good luck in today's race, because I know you'll be here with us today as the IHR representative. Hopefully we get your teammate here as well. But we only have 7 drivers scheduled to be here today. Hopefully we get more. At minimum, we want to hit that 7 driver count, but yeah, a little bit of gravel there. Let's see if there's anything I am currently missing. So yeah, the sudden announcement of the tire wear being changed has definitely thrown a wrench into the spanner of everybody's pit strategies. Because these drivers, they are the creme de la creme. And so, with that being said, your whole strategy can get thrown out the window. Even though the tires are only going to last a little bit longer, these drivers and their strategists have boiled it down to a T on what lap they're going to pit on and what tires are they going to change to. I mean, it may not sound like as big of a deal, but a good pit strategy can either ruin or save your race. I mean, because there's no real pit stop failures in Gran Turismo like Formula 1, so you're going to have consistent pit stops. It just matters on when you actually stop to get your tires changed. Now, there's no refueling, so you don't have to refuel your car unless you somehow burn a ridiculous amount of gas, but these cars are pretty fuel efficient, being 4 cylinders. But the tires are a different story. So tire strategy is going to be very key to this. So, and the drivers were unfortunately not told until today that the tire wear was getting changed. So they're going to have to probably make up strategies on the fly, which may add an element of uncertainty to this race here. So we'll just definitely have to see how that turns out for the rest of the grid. Or for the entirety of the grid, I should say. Viper's still, he's probably putting in the most laps out of everybody currently, at least from what I can see. Him and C-Chan have been in the lobby the longest. We are down to about 9 minutes or so for qualifying, until we start qualifying now. We have only 4 cars here, so interesting, and I believe each of these cars is from a different team. We have FFR with C-Chan, we have Deadeye Racing with Viper, IHR with J-Mac, and then Artura with Red Bull Adidas. So that can lead to some very interesting things here, because, I mean, everybody would be in the points. Every single driver here would indeed be in the points. But it's how many points they can get for themselves and the team. Especially because none of these drivers who are currently in session have a teammate. While everybody's just chilling out in the pits, we will actually take a step back and see who else is actually in the lobby. Gomez is here, he is just hitting the track, and B23 is also here. So, yeah, so this will be a very interesting session. B23 actually just left. So, I know Kill Switch was here earlier, so maybe, not sure what's going on with those 2 drivers. Oh, we have somebody now joining back. I don't think we'll check and see if we have any cars on track. Oh, we have C-Chan on track. Lucian is now here. So we do have some more cars now heading to the track. B23 is also on track. So now we have 6 cars here on circuit. So yeah, so we have 7. So I think these are oh, that is gonna be mighty close. I believe in game your car would just phase through it, but that is definitely a heart-wrenching moment. Your heart just drops into your stomach at moments like that. Near accidents like that are never fun, although granted it is a practice session, so your damage wouldn't necessarily carry over. So we have 7 drivers currently. I think we should be aiming to get a few more here. J-Mac and Artura currently in the pits. The high caliber racing driver of Lucian is now lapping around on track. And we also have the Sohei Racing driver of B23, the Saab powered machine. I am still a big fan of the fact that that has a Saab air quote powertrain in it. All these liveries are absolutely amazing here on this grid, and it's pretty interesting because even though in game there's only 2 engine manufacturers you can choose from for these super formulas, being Toyota and Honda, but the fact that these teams are wanting to have other manufacturers be their de facto engine supplier is really awesome. We have a Toyota powered car here with the Deadeye Racing car of Viper. We have Mercedes power on C-Chan's car. We have Lamborghini power with Gomez. We have Saab with B23. And then we have, I think we have 2 Honda powered cars, being the IHR and the HCR. Similar names, but not the same team in the slightest. And then I believe, yeah, this is another Honda powered car, the Red Bull Adidas. Bit of stuttering there from B23, but it should be cleared up by the race time. So yeah, we got about 5 minutes to qualifying. I will go ahead and let everybody know. So yeah, we're entering that time where we're about to get to qualifying. So these drivers are going to want to get their laps in, get familiar, unless they were doing that before the session started. Just got to get those laps in, get familiar with the circuit, and just get warmed up, you know, because practice is so key to this track, or to any track really. If you want to do good, you're going to have to practice. And I know these teams have probably collectively done hundreds of laps on this track. I can almost, with 100% certainty, guarantee that. Oh, we have more drivers coming in, so we're going to have at least 8 cars here, potentially. And hopefully we'll get a few more, too. Arturo gets a little bit of gravel, I think. It might have been just like a little bit of a lag spike, but they didn't seem too affected by it. Ooh, commentator's curse kicked in there. Red Bull Adidas, not looking. Oh, that was a very unsafe rejoin. Very, very unsafe rejoin there from Arturo. Ooh. That very lucky that is a practice session, and yeah, I did see that Lucian will be restarting his PS5, so hopefully he'll get back in before qualifying. B23 is off into the gravel for a little bit, but right now Viper still has the fastest time on the session. So I see a good amount. The drivers are going to alternate. They want to get experience on both tire compounds because they're not just different in name and the little icon that appears by the side of their name. These tires do have differences in their compound structure. So with the medium tires, or the yellow M on next to on the right side of their name, that is the medium tire compound. The medium tire compound, out of the 2 tires, it is the tire, it has less grip but better duration. So these tires are meant for these are the tires you want to go for a longer stint on. The soft tires are the orange circle with the S in the middle. Those are soft tire compounds, and they have more grip, but they burn out a lot quicker. And softs are really mostly used for qualifying in most racing series, or like really tight tracks like Monaco. But they just have the most grip, but they just burn out super quickly. So you really don't want to use a sprint or like a soft tire for a longer stint. It could be good tires to start out on, because you'll get that you'll get the quicker beginning parts of your stint, but you will actually run into the case of, if somebody's using medium tires, they're gonna have better tire life, so they'll inevitably just catch up to you. So this will be a fun race to watch. Qualifying should be a blast too. Expect everybody to run the medium or soft tire compound for qualifying, because that will be your best shot. Because with qualifying, you just need one good lap. That's all you really need. If you get a good lap, and then you're pretty much just solid. Because qualifying will take your best lap time and put you on top. That's exactly how it works. And this isn't like Formula 1 where you have stage qualifying, you get like qualifying 1, qualifying 2, qualifying 3. This is just one shot straight through, and it sets the entire grid in one sitting. Lucian's back before we actually have to head off to qualifying. And just in the nick of time, we had about 1 minute left before qualifying began. As fun as it is to watch these cars go around track, we're going to actually go ahead and... Actually, we're going to wait for Gomez. Just going to wait and see if Gomez actually gets back into the lobby. And then we're going to go live for qualifying. 10 minutes of qualifying, 5-minute break, and then we got 30 laps around this 2.9 mile circuit. And honestly, I think it's going to be a blast. Okay, oh, we have somebody else joining in too. Curious to see who that is, because it's not showing a name just yet. It is time for us to start qualifying, but oh, it's Pixel. Gomez actually left again. We'll give him a little bit, but Pixel is now here too. One of the Project Zero cars is here now. Had some pretty solid races in the preseason, and well, they're still loading. Pixel, aka Yuki, is still loading in, and I think, oh, there's Gomez back. Alright, once Gomez gets in, we'll go ahead and start. Oh, we have kill switch coming back in, so I guess the drivers will get a slight bit of extra practice time while we wait for these two cars. We do have a hard qualifying at 13:05 or 1:05 if you're on the Eastern Standard Time. Just gonna let the drivers know that now. I think Gomez is having some connectivity problems. Alright, so I just got confirmation that Gomez is running into some tech problems himself. So we're going to try to go ahead and get started by 13:05. But we are running into some technical problems with some of the drivers, which is unfortunate. Like, the one time you really don't want to have any performance problems is when you're about to start a race. I know that's always been, anytime I did a online race or a league race, I've always had that fear of just, please don't let my power go out in the middle of this, which would be very unfortunate. So hopefully these drivers get it fixed up before then, because I know these drivers are very talented, they're very rapid, very quick, and also very solid racers. So we definitely want to get the most out of them for each of these races, and I know they want to give it their all too. There are some pretty serious points on the line here, and so I know each driver will be wanting to get the maximum amount of points for their team, but also more importantly their own championship ambitions. So while we wait on a few people, we'll go ahead and just read off the championship standings as of right now. So first off, we have Whiteout with 25 points, followed by Viper, Gomez, Ace, Illusion, C-Chan, B23, Woodson, Schultze, and Killswitch. And so right now, out of these 7 teams we currently have points for, Deadeye Racing will go ahead and top the team standings, followed by Exo HCR, and then Scuderia Racing Force. And then we have Sohei, Project Zero, FR Racing, and then Red Bull Adidas Racing. So those are our teams, drivers, and team standings at the moment. But with some new teams here, some new drivers here, I believe that will all get switched around a bit. It may be even a case of rebuilding the server. I don't think we will have to do that because I think it was only 2 people having problems. Speaking of that, it might be just down to 1 now because we do have somebody else now joining the server. And then Gomez is back, still waiting on Kill Switch. I'll ask about if we have anything for him. Oh no. Alright, so we are going to start quali without him. We're going to get one quick update to see where Gomez is at, and then we'll have to start quali. So unfortunately, I believe Gomez and JD will not have any representative qualifying times. Oh, wait, maybe. Possibly. Gomez, maybe. That is Gomez, so we'll see if he can go ahead and get on into the session. If he disconnects again, then we will just have to unfortunately start qualifying without JD or Gomez. So 2 drivers will be out of qualifying. They'll start at the back of the grid. In what order? I think it will be just dependent on the order that the game gives them. I'm not entirely positive on which one or which order it will go in, but we'll just see. If Gomez disconnects, then we will have to start quali. And that is unfortunate. Qualifying is going to start now. Good luck to everybody, and we have 8 drivers here ready for qualifying. It's quali time in Barcelona. It's about to go down. 8 drivers here, and I think we have 8 drivers from 7 different teams, and it's gonna be a blast. 10 minutes on the clock, and we start now. So C-Chan will be, well, a lot of these drivers are gonna be going out, so you'll have to get an out lap before you start your main lap. So you'll pretty much, your out lap will not count towards your actual time. Even then, it would be, and then, sorry, I was reading, we unfortunately got more updates that Gomez still having tech problems, and he unfortunately will not be able to join us. Really unfortunate. Gomez is a very rapid driver. He especially showed his guts during the preseason with some of the best racing I have seen in a long time. But regardless, we hope everything improves and he'll be with us for the next round at Spa. Oh, here's a new car I'm not familiar with. Pixel is driving a very unique car. I'll have to actually research and find out which car that is. Very unique. I wonder if... Very interesting. Let me go through and try to find what vehicle that is. We'll just go ahead and ride on board with Viper currently, who is going to be the first one to actually begin a flying lap. Now, the one thing you definitely do not want is you do not want to get penalties on track, because that will actually negate your time and also slow you down. You only have 10 minutes of qualifying total instead of 3 stages of 15 minutes, like in Formula 1. So you'll definitely want to do your absolute best to keep it within the white lines and keep it on track. Yeah, I do not believe I have actually... Yeah, I'm actually not seeing anything about that livery that Pixel is running. So, very curious to see. For the sake of commentating, he'll be... I'm guessing a solo driver? Although I know he raced with Project Zero during the preseason, so that's a very curious case. I'll have to try to get some confirmation on that when I can. So it looks like we're about to get the first lap of this qualifying session, and it's a 1 minute 19. Good stuff from Viper. He's just going to go back to the pits and then just go back out again. He'll be on out lap once again, but we have C-Chan 3 seconds off the pace from Viper. A very strong lap. Yuki will go ahead and set a second place time, but still 2 seconds off. It's unfortunate. Flaring aces. It does happen though. Whether it's tech problems or other obligations, I understand it happens. But hey, we'll see you next time round. Hopefully we'll see you at Spa. So yeah, just take care of yourself, man. And cheer on your teammate. Because Viper right now is the fastest lap by 2 whole seconds. Very positive stuff there from the Deadeye Racing driver. So actually, a lot of these drivers, like second through fourth, are actually pretty close to each other. Actually, 5th is actually pretty close too. So from B23 to Yuki, it's actually pretty solid there. Crazy how we're almost halfway through the session already. So the session's about 10 minutes, and whoever gets the fastest lap will start on that very coveted pole position. Oh, your wheel actually ran it, or gave up. Oh, that sucks, man. I'm really sorry to hear that. You're saying Viper and Illusion might be a good fight. All right, yeah, that is definitely something we'll have to keep an eye on. Hopefully we get that. I want to see some solid battles today. Oh, but Artura, the Dutch driver, unfortunately must have crossed track limits at some point with a half-second penalty for Red Bull Adidas. Gomez is actually here, but he won't be a part of qualifying, which is unfortunate, so he'll start at the back of the grid. He will start off in 9th. Gothboy about 2.2 seconds off of his teammate, who himself is only 3/10 off of J-Mac for that 4th place, starting on the 2nd row. So, Barcelona has one of, if not the longest straightaways on the calendar. That run from the start-finish straight into turn 1 is going to be the longest that we're going to have throughout the season, especially like in terms of like first laps. So it will be, even if you get pole position, you will be very susceptible to a driver just trying to overtake going into turn 1. And you can do some pretty gutsy overtakes going into turn 1 there. You can even overtake from the outside, because going into that S, it pretty much just goes right back to being an inside again, and then back to being an outside almost immediately after. So it's a very tricky corner, but it's also a very solid overtaking spot. We are down to 4 minutes remaining inside of the qualifying session. So you'll probably have like maybe time for one, or I would probably venture to say you'd have 2 or 3 laps left. And B23 shoots himself up to the front of the 2nd row. Very solid stuff, but Yuki just said, or actually no, Illusion will go ahead and take it. The EXO high caliber racing driver slots himself into P2 on the front row. 9/10 off of Viper. Very solid lap there from the Norwegian driver. Very solid lap here. We have B23 just kind of getting out of the way of the drivers. Oh, good thing you reset. That might have been a very nasty potential crash if he didn't go back to the pits. He will have time for an out lap and then I think a lap. I think that's all B23 will have time for. That's all the time anybody would have now if they're starting their out, if they just decide to start the out laps now. CGN is actually going to end his out lap, and now he's on to a fast lap. 3/10 behind EXO to slot himself into that 2nd row of the grid in the Mercedes-powered FR Racing machine. B23 currently, he's only 300ths off of Yuki, so that is a very tight-knit fight for 3rd place here in the qualifying session here. Very tight stuff. Actually, I think everybody's pretty close to each other. I mean, if we go to Artura, actually Artura doesn't have a lap yet, so he wouldn't be a good. About 6 seconds separates the entirety of the grid. And actually going up to, it's only 3 seconds from 6th place all the way to 1st. Now, it'll be interesting too, because another factor that you'll want to note is that a lot of drivers will be using their overtake on this start-finish straightaway. Now, the overtake meter is a meter within Gran Turismo that will pretty much just give your car a little bit of extra horsepower for the duration it's being used. It's similar to a very push-to-pass type thing in IndyCar, and the Super Formula cars obviously have it as well. We're going to just mention that Viper has set a new time of a 1 minute 19.047. That is the provisional pole time at the moment, 1.2 seconds ahead of Illusion. And yeah, I think the prediction of Viper and Illusion having a solid battle for this race might come to fruition. And I hope it does, because that would be a very good battle to see. You love to see battles, especially in the front. Viper was a front-running contender to get a win at Brands Hatch. Unfortunately, just did not have enough to get it. Got overtaken by Whiteout, and then Whiteout pretty much just casually raced to victory. But Whiteout's not here at the moment. The current championship leader isn't here. So Viper could easily take the top of the driver's standings. Yeah, it's a restricted bot that was in chat. Unfortunately, Illusion's got a half-second penalty. And actually, this will be the final lap for everybody because we're out of time for qualifying. So right now, it looks like it's Viper, Illusion, and C-Chan as your top three. Followed by Yuki, EXO, B23, J-Mac, Gothboy, and Artura. Oh, and Viper's on track to even set another fast time, but will he even be able to do it? Because I know, as I was about to mention, that Gran Turismo doesn't really play nice with finishing laps. Viper is on pole position here. We'll go ahead and grab the times. You'll see a blue screen pop up and then a little bit of a black overlay on the top left corner. So just a disclaimer, that's just how PlayStation does these things, unfortunately. Alright, so let's see, what time is it now? It is 3:17. We'll say 13:22. We'll go ahead and get the race started. Get the drivers a quick little 5-ish minute break to take a nap. Actually, don't take a nap, please. You might not wake up in time. Get some water, hydrate, stretch, use the restroom, do what you need to do. And then we'll be back at 13:22 for starting the race here at Barcelona. 30 laps, so be sure to lock in and get ready because it's going to be a fun one. We'll be back. The race now begins in... Actually, I think as long as Gomez actually like joins, he should be able to actually slot in. Yeah, let me manually set the grid. Oh, no, don't kick him out. Let me, event settings, there we go. I think. I am all for letting Gomez race, I just gotta quickly try to figure out how to actually... We'll be starting a bit later as I figure this out. Oh, there's a quick glance at qualifying again. Alright, here, hang on. Let me just take a quick little thing on my phone. Alright, so we're gonna end race, but don't worry, we're not gonna do qualifying again. We're just gonna manually set the grid. I've actually never manually set the grid before, so we'll just have to... It will take me a quick minute to figure this out. I do apologize in the meantime. Gotcha. Okay. Alright, so let's see. Actually, I pretty much... Alright, so... Shenanigans indeed. Alright, so let's go ahead and get things... Oh, went too far. Just checking by my... Yeah, hang on, we don't have B23 back in here, so that is the... Other than that, we have the grid pretty much set. Oh, there he is. Just gonna move him up real quick. Alright, just cross-referencing real quick to make sure everything's good. Alright, yep, we're good. Why are you 5th? Fun fact, you're not. Alright, without any further ado, it's race time here. It is race time here. Good luck, everybody, and we're going live. 30 laps around the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya, and it is go time. Good luck, have fun, everybody, and I can't wait to see how this race is going to play out, because this is going to be a spicy one. We got those 5 red lights waiting to go out. And if you get a jump start, then you'll actually get penalized. So that's something you want to avoid. Those 5 red lights are going out. You hear the revs. Oh, there's a jump from J-Mac! And it's lights out and away we go. The Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya is underway. We are here, 30 laps to go. And good start from Viper Illusion, trying to find some kind of entry point to get in. Just didn't quite find one. An absolute mega start from the top 3. We actually... Okay, no, my mind is just... I think we are actually missing someone. Oh wait, no, I was the 9th. Never mind. We are not missing anybody. We are on track and on schedule. As I think, I feel it. I have this some urge that we're just actually missing someone. I don't know if it's sleep deprivation getting the better of me, but anyways, back to the action currently on track. Viper's got a pretty decent lead, but I can tell that there's going to be a lot of overtake used, especially when it gets to these straights, but C-Chain does have a half-second penalty that's got to be slowed down. Actually, I guess they'll enact on the next lap because it was so close. Oh, we don't, yeah, B23 is not here, unfortunately. B23 is not here. That is unfortunate there for the Suhei driver. We did indeed lose one. Unfortunate. So right now, we got Yuki, who is currently hunting down C-Chan. He's within a second of him, so he's got a pretty decent, especially when it comes to start-finish straight later on, but C-Chan does have that half-second penalty that he'll have to serve at this lap. Oh, you know what? You are right. I forgot Gran Turismo locks it. Thank you, Flaring. It's been a minute. So right now, Yuki's actually hunting down C-Chan pretty effectively here. And that gap is closing. There's a lot of overtake being used, and Yuki is going to get that overtake coming up here at this next straight because of that half-second slowdown penalty that C-Chan has. So, oh, is he going to try to block into that? Oh, but it goes to car, and Yuki gets straight on through. That would be a very interesting call if it was IRL, but it does ghost you in Gran Turismo, so luckily there was no contact or impeding. But Viper does have a now very solid lead, as Lucian actually tumbles down to 4th place. Unfortunate for the driver that started off on the front row of the grid. But, I mean, then again, everybody's going to have the fastest lap here, technically, just because of lap time. But actually, no, Illusion has the overall fastest lap now of the session with a 1:23. Good stuff there from the Norwegian driver. And Viper's just extending that gap. He's on for a personal best, but not a session best. Which could change, potentially, depending on how much overtake he feels like burning, but you definitely do not want to burn the overtake all in one sitting, because overtake does not regenerate like battery would in Formula 1 or other series with hybrids. No, these cars are not hybrids, so once that overtake runs out, that's all you got. We have a battle here between C-Chan and Yuki. Good stuff. We'll see. We'll head on to the onboard cam, helmet cam of C-Chan. See if he can try to get this overtake done for the start-finish straight. That is definitely something you'll want to do, especially because that is your best opportunity to overtake, is on that massive straightaway, which is, if I remember correctly, 0.69 miles in length. So it is almost a mile-long straightaway. Oh, he goes off into the gravel. That's going to hurt his chances of making an overtake. And it's going to allow Lucian the perfect chance, but Lucian also has a half-second penalty that he'll have to serve this lap. Just unfortunate stuff here for the Norwegian driver. I knew that track limits were going to be a factor in this race, but I feel like the biggest factor is going to be tire wear. He's going to try to get past Yuki on the outside, currently on track to setting the new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. He was trying, but Yuki's got some very solid defense there, but unfortunately not solid enough to prevent Lucian from getting past. Lucian is up into P2, but you got to consider he's got that slowdown penalty if he'll try to employ the same tactic as C-Chan, the Canadian driver, and trying to block him in while going through that half second, because that could cause chaos. And also it is possible that we can see penalties coming through, but this time Yuki does not overtake entirely. He does not make the overtake like he did on C-Chan, but actually all of these cars are pretty much have only 1 second in between each of them. Oh, J-Mac gets a little squirrely on straightaways. So that is something that's definitely going to hurt his chance. I can definitely tell that there's overtake being used. And CJ is going to go on the inside and overtake Yuki there. The Canadian driver moves up into 3rd place, right where he started this race. Very solid stuff there from the Canadian driver. Yeah, now he's actually pulling up a pretty extensive lead. We'll pull up the race info here just for a little bit, just so we can check on what tires everybody's running. So we have C-Chance starting on the medium tire, Yuki on the soft. Oh wow, that front right is cooked. That thing is more cooked than charcoal. Yeah, that front right, I don't know how that front right got so fired up so quickly. Yikes. We'll see if any of the other cars, everybody's on mediums, I think. Oh no, there's a few of the racing softs, but I mean, yeah, a lot of the racing softs are kind of the same thing. Golf Boy is the only one that has a moderate amount of tire wear on that soft tire, but yeah, those soft tires, like especially on Yuki and B23, they're done. Those things aren't even cooked, they're straight up grilled. He's gonna fire off into the pits and get a tire change. Wow, those soft tires did not last long at all. Wow. I feel like the soft tires lasted longer on Brands Hatch, although granted Brands Hatch is not nearly as hard on tires as this race is. But going into lap 6, we're going to see two drivers changing out tires between Yuki and B23. Good stuff, and they are out of the pit lane. Yuki will go ahead and switch to the medium tire compound. I believe B23 and Golf Boy are also going to switch to that medium tire compound. So definitely it's interesting because there's less tire wear in this race, and yet the tires feel like they just burn out significantly faster. Although this track is more tire demanding, but still those tires did not last nearly as long as I thought they would. I thought we would have at least got to like maybe lap 8 or 9 before we saw tire changes having to come into play. Unfortunately, Gomez is going to have another half-second penalty. I have seen so far 3 different drivers with half-second penalties. There might have been more that I actually missed. So that would be, that's just unfortunate. Track limits are very hard. I mean, you have so much momentum going into the last 2 corners there that it can be very easy to get all 4 tires across those white lines, therefore getting a track limit. And if you're coming in too high, coming into turns 1, 2, and 3, you can run over those white lines and just have your tires absolutely go across those lines, and you get rewarded with a very nice half-second penalty. Oh, and Artura is off into the gravel. It has just not been a great day for him. The Dutch driver running into a few problems in practice, didn't even set a time for quali, and now unfortunately just off in the gravel. I mean, that's one thing that will really cook your tires regardless of what compound you're on, because slick tires are not a big fan of gravel, which is I'm sure not much of a surprise. So those tires will get embedded into the tire and cause what is known as graining. Graining can happen in other ways too, but that is one way to, definitely. Well, there's another way to cook your tires, is from drifting. Yuki unfortunately having a slide there, coming out of that corner. Gives Artura a good chance. Oh, Artura's off into the gravel too. A lot of drivers getting caught out. I wonder if this tire degradation has anything to do with it. Tire degradation definitely going to be playing a factor here. Yuki does save it. He prevents it from going a full 360, but that does wear out your tires a bit. Lujan again, another half-second penalty. J-Mac is going to fire off into the pits, shedding those soft tires. I mean, you have to run both sets of tires, so it is very reasonable to see a soft then medium strategy for most of these drivers, or even for some of the more gutsy drivers, or the drivers that can manage their tires extremely well. You could actually run a soft, medium, soft. Wow. Per the rules, you can just do a one-stop strategy, but with how long those soft tires lasted, I really just do not have faith in those medium tires to go the distance. Yeah, I mean, if it took only like what, 5 laps for the soft tires to get absolutely shredded like cheese. It's just, yeah, no. And you want tire grip. There's gonna have to be blue flags coming out here soon for the Sohei Racing of Gothboy. Viper's right behind him. He will have to let the car pass when it is the best opportunity to do it. Otherwise, it could be a penalty. But around these corners isn't really a good place to let him pass. He's gonna slow down a bit, let Viper through, and then he'll resume back to racing speed. Viper is on a flyer of a race this time out. I don't believe he's had a pit in yet. So he's one of the drivers who started off on a medium tire compound, and that medium tire compound has definitely been the way to go for this race. He will have to run a soft at some point. You know, he might actually be trying to pull off the one stop. It's easier to do a one stop when you do medium to soft versus the other way around, although not by much. Because you could coax those medium tires to last longer than you could do with the soft tires. The soft tires, especially at race starts, just do not have that same kind of wiggle room. Because you'll have wheel spin at the start of the race, and which will burn the tires out more. But right now, Viper has the fastest time of the Grand Prix with a 1:22.136. An absolute barnstormer of a lap from the pole sitter here. Illusion is back into second place, but still a solid 15 seconds behind. He's actually coming in. He's on the medium. I wonder if he'll switch tires. Well, I mean, I wonder if he'll switch too, if he's going to go for a medium soft maybe even. There are a lot of different strategies that can be at play here. I think there's like a combined total like 4 different strategies. Soft, medium, soft, medium, soft, medium, soft, and then medium, soft, medium. We'll see what goes on here. Or you can even do a one stop, but I don't think that'll be the case here. So it looks like it might be medium, soft, medium for Illusion here. Good strategy. I mean, use those soft tires to make up a bit of ground on those aging medium tires, or the drivers who just want softs, which I think we'll actually do another tire check real quick. So Gomez is on a semi-worn pair of mediums. CJ and Viper have not pitted yet, but look, I just want to point out the difference here. Look at the consistency of Viper's tires. Those tires are, he's nursing those tires around. This is around the range I would have expected the softs to go out on, but this man is very capable of pulling off a one-stop strategy here. We'll definitely have to see just how it goes. Very interesting stuff here for this race here. I mean, we knew this race might come down to strategy and track limits, and so far I believe strategy has been the biggest player in this whole entire race. Especially with the very late notice on the tire degradation regulations. So a lot of these drivers, I think, are just going, I don't think they've really changed their strategy much from what they originally wrote up. I think now some of them might just be going on just pure instinct on just trying to get those tires to last as long as humanly possible. If they feel like the soft tires are just going to be absolutely gone by a certain lap, they'll just mentally have that in the back of their mind as they're racing. Which is why I have, one of the many reasons I have such respect for these drivers, because they're thinking of so many different things at the same time. They gotta think about keeping their consistency, their gaps between drivers, and also they gotta keep their pit strategies in mind, especially in situations where it's gonna be on the fly. Viper's gonna peel off into the pits. We'll see what tire he changes out to. I am betting that it is going to be to another set of mediums, and then he'll ride the rubber off the mediums, and then just go for the softs. Because another thing too is like, okay, and T-Chan's also going to fire off into the pits too. Yep, it's medium to medium, so he will have to make another stop for the soft tire compound. I mean, that's kind of what we figured. The medium soft might be the prime strategy here for these drivers. But I mean, it's very awesome to see that these drivers are able just to kind of like they put so much time into this game and into these cars with various different settings, so they have a general idea of like their pit strategy ahead of time, but they're able to react to changes of conditions. So very good stuff there from these 9 drivers to just even be able to keep up with all that. You could rely on instinct, but it's only going to get you so far. Having a solid plan is the key to winning races. We do have a battle here from Lujan and Gomez. This will be a fun one to watch. The time is ticking down. Oh, he goes wide! Oh, there's contact between the two. Lujan gets to pass, but not without a little bit of rubbing. That could have resulted in what almost looked like a spin out even was on the cards there. Thankfully, that was not the case. Yeah, you'll definitely want to watch this race back on replay, which the race will be live on YouTube, the entire VOD with practice and qualifying. That is definitely something you guys will want to do, especially with how much pit strategy and action is going on this race. So a few hours after the race is done, you'll be able to find it on YouTube. And actually, Flurry Gates did bring up another very valid point. The wind direction changes on this track can also alter some strategies a bit, because it can blow the cars in a specific direction. These cars are super lightweight too, and they're very aerodynamic heavy. So sun gusts of wind can easily throw handling out the window, as well as some other strategies you might run into. Because if you see it near the track layout on the top right of your screen, the wind is blowing. It was blowing about 14 feet per second now, going north. So that is actually, so the drivers are going in the oncoming wind onto the straightaway, or onto the start-finish straight. So that is definitely going to play a key role here. Arturo goes off to the pits. We have a battle now between J-Mac and Gomez. We'll go to the halo cam or the engine cover cam for these two. This will be a pretty good place to use your overtake, because this is a good straight. This would be a DRS zone in Formula 1, where you get a little bit of extra speed before going into the set of corners. But now the best opportunity to overtake is going to be on that start-finish straight, 100%. Switch to a different camera here for this battle to see if we can watch the moment of an overtake, although I think Gomez has just enough of a gap to keep this, to keep the lead, or not the lead, to keep that position going into turn 1. J-Max is not coming in close enough, so Gomez will go ahead and retake, or just hold on to that 5th place spot. Very solid stuff from the Racing Force driver. But the IHR car of J-Mac is not going to be far behind, but I think he's actually losing a bit of time to Gomez out front. The Mexican driver really showing why he earned the nickname of Speedy Gomez during the preseason. Very rapid. He started in last place. He did not even set a time during qualifying due to connectivity problems, but now he's up in the 5th. Very solid stuff from Gomez here. From qualifying to the top, from not even setting time in the qualifying to the top 5 here. Pretty solid stuff for any driver. Good stuff there from all these drivers. Viper just has a very strong lead of 16 seconds. We're right about to cross the halfway point of this Grand Prix. Lap 15 out of 30. We're almost halfway done with this Grand Prix already. Oh, we just have a half-second penalty. Oh, this is a spicy one here. There is a battle between Gothboy and Artura, but they both had to let Lujan through. And I think Artura ended up winning that exchange, but there is a half-second penalty on Lujan. So both of these cars will have a shot to go back through. I mean, unless blue flag would prevent them from that, but I don't see why it would. They slow down, and then they have to go again. But Gothboy tried to go around going the inside. Doesn't quite work. Arturo holds on to it from the outside. Very solid driving there from the Dutch driver. Dutch and Belgian going out of here. Oh, getting a low squirrel there. That's going to lead a pretty solid opportunity for Gothboy there to make up a position here to slip himself into 8th place. But this is a long straightaway. Illusion is going to go into the pits. Oh, Gothboy actually makes the overtake, but they are so close to each other. Now, there might be a pass. Good defense there from the Sue driver. But I think Arturo's going to try to go around the outside. That's a very ballsy move there, and he gets it done. Very good stuff there from Arturo. Is he going to be able to hold it, or is Gothboy going to go back on the inside? No, not quite. Arturo makes the pass back into 8th place. Whew. The Honda-powered Red Bull Adidas is making moves out here. Very good stuff there from the Dutch driver. But very good defense attempts from Gothboy as well. We cannot discount that. The number 34 car getting back into 8th place there. He was the other car to not set time in qualifying, unfortunately. Just couldn't get a good lap strung together. But this will be a fun battle to come back to later. We'll have to check in on that. We'll check and see if there's any other close battles here. Oh, here we go. Gomez and Yuki. And Lucian's also in that mix too. This is a 3-way battle for 3rd place. That last podium position. And this could go very well or very terrible for these drivers. Lucian, I think, is going to make the pass. The pass is going to stick, but he's got a racing force in front of him that he wants to overtake as well. He wants the overtake. He's going to probably make a lunge for. He's on new tires. Lucian did switch to another set of tires, which might be able to get to the end of this race, although I think there might be one more stop in mind for this driver. I think Gomez is he's just been too rapid through that section. Yuki's going to go off into the pits now. Viper still has the fast time of a 1:21.336. And we'll see what tire Yuki switches to. Just going to be a quick little tire change. From the medium tire compound to a new tire, we'll see. Oh, is it? Back to mediums. All right. Good stuff. He went back to medium, so he's running another set of medium compound tires. But here's a battle. Lucian and Gomez. I think this battle's actually been going on for quite a bit. So we'll see if Lucian can go ahead and get the overtake done. He's looking on the outside, going on a little bit on the rumble strips there. Oh, he's going to go for the inside. Oh, but he brakes. Gomez just brakes later, but it works out for Lucian because Gomez just goes too deep into that corner there. And Lucian will move up to 3rd place, retaking the podium position. Absolute cinema from these two drivers here in this race. Very, very good stuff. Gomez might have a shot if he's going to try to burn some overtake. But I think Lucian's just on the fresher tires, so I think it's just going to come down to that. Just whoever's on the fresher set of rubber. I think he was using a bit of overtake, but just did not close up the gap nearly enough to try to lunge for an overtake. You could have braked a little bit later there to get a little bit more time, but at the same time, you also run the risk of going in the gravel. So Gomez playing it smart, trying to save those tires, potentially go for an attack later. But Lucian is just pulling away now at this stage. The very good stuff there from these two drivers, keeping it clean and keeping it on the track. Looks like we might have another battle here, maybe? No? I could have swore I thought I saw. Oh, I guess it's this thing right here. I was looking at the map thinking there might be another fight. I know C-Chan and Arturo are a bit close to each other, but they're not in compatible positions to actually wage a fight, and Arturo, I think, just let him through due to blue flag rules. So, and actually C-Chan's is going to fire off into the pits. He's going to shed those soft tires. Those soft tires are probably on life support at the moment. Let's see what he switches to. You can make those medium tires run for quite a while, so maybe that's what he's going with here. Gomez will move back up into third, but he might have to make another stop. New tires go on. I'm gonna make a solid bet that it's mediums. Yep, mediums 100%. Yeah, the soft tires are just not working out for anybody currently here. But this race as a whole is working out in very good favor for Viper, because he's almost got a 1 minute lead to Lucian. Although, granted, taking a look at the information here. Oh no, he's on new tires. He's on new tires. He doesn't have to pit probably again for the rest of the race. He might have one more stop, but at this point, he's got a free pit stop because he's just that far ahead. Viper absolutely dominating this race. Deadeye Racing has just been on fire this season. Although Deadeye Racing is only 1 point ahead of HCR in the team standings, but I got a feeling that that's going to change a bit. With Deadeye getting first place, and Lucian might come second or third, depending on how the pit stops play out. Not really close enough for any battles. There are some blue flags telling Gothboy to give way to Viper, I believe that is, behind him. Yeah, no, it's Yuki, sorry. Different car of a similar color scheme, and he's just gonna, oh, wow. Oh, Yuki wanted the slipstream to potentially go after C-Chan, but C-Chan is quite a ways ahead. Oh, but there's another car behind both of them, and it's Viper. Viper's behind both Yuki and Gothboy. So, very, so this blue flag, Viper's just on fire this race. I mean, not much else you can say about it. We have 10 laps remaining in this Grand Prix. I mean, he's had a pretty quiet race. I mean, he's just been on top for pretty much the entire Grand Prix. I mean, I don't think he's ever left first place. He's led the entire race, all 20 laps so far. And he's going to lead lap 21 as well, unless he disconnects or has a catastrophic mess up. But even then, I think he'll be able to rejoin the circuit in time just to keep that lead. The field has definitely spread out quite a bit now, so we'll jump to any battles if we see him. Arturo has a half-second penalty. It's going to slow him down a bit. Maybe make it a little bit closer for Gothboy to try to make an attack, but definitely not going to be enough with the 25-second buffer. Here's something that we can actually check real quick with just the top drivers. We're not going to check tires, we're going to check overtake. Viper still has a majority of his overtake. Lucian is almost out of overtake. Gomez in a similar boat. J-Mac about half. C-Chan hasn't used any of his overtake yet. So he's got a lot to work with here. He's got a lot of extra horsepower just sitting there waiting to be used. It's crazy how some of these tops... So yeah, I mean, just such a stark contrast. Lucian is using everything that car has to try to get the win, and Viper's just extending gaps without hardly even touching his overtake. Gothboy hasn't used it either. Artura's about used half of it. A little bit more than half. Same with Artura, Yuki, and C-Chan just hasn't touched it at all. So C-Chan has a lot of utilities to make it up to at least fourth. He might even make it higher, depending on how these pit stops play out. I think that gap is closing in a bit. Oh yeah, C-Chan's on fresh tires, so that gap is closing bit by bit. But Here's the thing though, C-Chan has a lot of overtake. He still has max overtake. So it's gonna be, I think C-Chan might even get fastest lap at one of these points just because of how much overtake he's got left. So I mean, he can fly on this track. Viper will definitely shoot up into the lead of these driver standings at this point because Whiteout's not in this race. So it is a very good race here for the Deadeye Racing team, even though they only have one member on track. Still very good stuff there from Viper, just cleaving through the field and maintaining a very consistent 48-second lap. Oh, there's a yellow flag up ahead. Who might that be? That is C-Chan off track, actually. He's just gonna cut the chicane. He's gonna have to give way for Viper. Oh, contact between C-Chan and Viper. Oh, and Viper's gonna just go off into the pits. I think it was launched into the pits. Oh no, that is just super unfortunate there for both drivers. C-Chan was trying to get out of the way of Viper, and Viper was trying to get around him, and they both mentally went in the same direction. So that is just going to be contact. Oh man, no damage I don't think on Viper's car though, which is good. Yeah, no, there's no damage on Viper's car, which is a very solid thing, but just unfortunate. The stewards are going to have to take a look at that one, see if there's any penalties applicable. Yeah, I mean, there was a very good chance for C-Chan to even fire off into the podium. He started P3, I believe. Take a look. Yeah, he started off at P3, but now it's down to P6. Who's on the other side of that spectrum of starting position to current position? Gomez from 9th place without setting a qualifying time to 3rd right now. I mean, he's a pretty good distance away from Lucian and J-Mac. So unless pit strategies play out differently, then he might end up getting 2nd or maybe dropping out of the podium positions. But there is still 7 laps to go in this race. We're soon to be down to the 6 laps left of this Grand Prix, and this Grand Prix is just ticking away. I think must have been due to a pit stop. Oh no, yeah, it was a pit stop. Viper did lose a good chunk of time, but even with a pit stop and some contact, he is still 23 seconds ahead. And he's on fresh tires too. He's still got a good chunk of overtake. I don't think he's used much of it. Yeah, you can tell by the lights, the stage of the overtake. Yeah, I think Lucian's just is almost out or completely out of overtake. Gomez had a bit more overtake, so he might be able to try to push to get a podium position here with 6 laps to go. But I mean, yeah, Lucian just burned through all of that overtake meter. We'll take another look at it. Yeah, well actually, Gomez is about twice as much, but that's still not saying a lot. But also, Lucian is on fresher tires, so I do think these tires are going to go to the end of the race. I think C-Chan had a little bit of squirreliness there, but he kept it. Yeah, I don't think we'll be seeing any other pit stops. And also, Viper is on the soft tire compound. So that means Viper is just going to be going for it. He's going to create an even faster lap. I mean, those soft tires are going to get to the end of this race, even if they're on life support. And a 1 minute 18, and that was on an out lap, mind you. So this man is just cooking. He is Gordon Ramsay right now with how well he's cooking on this track at the moment. Lucian is also doing a very solid job here, keeping his position, keeping a very consistent race here. The only lap that was outside of the 120 range. A few laps between 120 and 122, but I mean, there was an outlier for a 130, but that was definitely an outlap. But Still very good racing here. Gomez is going to actually fire off into the pits. I will see where he comes out, I think. Yeah, no, J-Mac is actually just going to go ahead and get into the podium position here because that pit's just going to take too long. Gran Turismo pit stops take longer than Formula 1 pit stops, so yeah, very... I mean, but he's on a soft tire though, so it's going to be a good ways behind J-Mac, so yeah, a solid 9 seconds to make up with 5 laps to go. Make it now 4 laps to go if you are Viper on the lead lap. Arturo's gonna come into the pits too. Godboy is gonna let Lusion go through. Arturo's gonna peel up to the pits for his final pit stop of the race. He has got 6 laps remaining himself. And yeah, I mean, this has just been a one-sided race. I mean, I know last time we had some battles, but Viper is definitely making up for what happened in Brands Hatch when he just couldn't quite piece together a race win. But now he's doing it in a dominant fashion. Viper is just absolutely on the pace now. Here's something too. We talked about a little bit earlier how Gomez pitting in might have jeopardized his P4 or his P3. I mean, sorry, but I mean comparing that, I mean that time gap went from 8 seconds down to just under 5 seconds. And I mean mathematically, it is possible for J-Mac to lose that position to Gomez. Gomez is going to be fine with everything. He is on a new set of tires, probably softs, and he is just going to just unleash every bit of pace that Racing Force has. Every bit of pace. Yeah, that time is just dwindling down. 4 laps to go. 3 if you're Viper. But man, this is going to be the battle to keep your eye on. This battle will be the one to watch. Yeah, this is going to be a neck and neck battle. This is going to go down right up until the end, if not even a little bit before that. So this is definitely going to be probably the spiciest final 3 laps for these 2 drivers here. They're going to be the ones to watch. Gomez is on the fresher tires and the faster tire compound. But J-Mac has been known to have some really solid defense. We'll have to see if that solid defense comes through. Both drivers are definitely going to be using their overtake to the fullest extent now, trying to keep that lead. He will hold on to it for the straightaway. Can't really fire off to the outside or the inside to try to get that overtake done. But Gomez is going to try. He's going to try to on this corner. He's got more grip. And more pace, honestly, at least with these newer tires. I mean, he's made up so much time here in the last 2 laps. J-Mac is just going to have to defend for everything that IHR is worth. Try to get the first IHR podium of the season. Ooh, there's that defense we were talking about. J-Mac is on a roll with that defense, but I don't think it'll be enough. I think Gomez will get him on the straight. We'll have to keep an eye on it. IHR, yep, there it is. Oh, but is he going to hold it? No, he is not going to hold it. Gomez will go ahead and sling back up into the podium position. A valiant effort by J-Mac, but it just was not enough to keep that Racing Force car behind him. Solid effort, though. But, I mean, it's still a race, though. I mean, there's still potential for a good fight here. I mean, we'll have to check on the car's overtake levels. So, Gomez is out of overtake. J-Mac still has some overtake, so he could use that to his advantage. Lusion is out of overtake. And Viper's out of overtake. And he's on the last lap. So, this race is Viper's race to lose. He might have to be cautious on that fuel load though. Because, I mean, if you run out of fuel, you're just not going to have a... You're going to just slowly crawl to the rest of the line, but I think he'll make it. He might have to play with that fuel map a bit, but I think he's got enough of a buffer anyway. Illusion is also on that final lap of this race. Excellent stuff there from these two. And Gomez is now just pulling away from J-Mac. The softer tires really just being the major benefactor here for this race. He's only got a few corners left now. Viper just needs to bring this car home, and he's got a race win under his belt for the season. The Toyota-powered Deadeye racing vehicle. He's led this lap, or led this race for every single lap of this Grand Prix. He's only got 2 more corners to go. This race is as good as done. And your winner of the Barcelona Catalunya race here for the GT, Viper wins in Spain. Very good job there from the British driver of Deadeye Racing. He's going to be happy with that one. C-Chan goes ahead and takes 5th place, a lap down. There's only 4 more cars on that lead lap. Or 3 more cars, sorry. So it looks like your other podium positions are going to be Illusion coming on the last 2 corners. Illusion had a very good race too. Started P2, ended P2. Very solid results from him there. And that's the end of the Grand Prix. That race is done and dusted. Your winner, Viper, pole position, clean race. That is done. We're just going to take a quick look at the results here. You'll see, actually, C-Chan finished in 5th, but he left the lobby beforehand, so we don't have that on record. I don't know how these stewards will take that, but Viper wins the race here. Congratulations. I'm going to go ahead and save that replay, and then I'll go ahead and share it real quick. I'm just going to put the same thing for here. Alright, so we'll get that because that was something we didn't do last time. It actually helps with some of the driver icons for the results graphics. But yeah, that was an amazing race from these drivers. Viper absolutely killed it there. I mean, he was just dominant. And also, I mean, B23 had a very, Illusion had a very consistent race for himself as well. And then Gomez from last place without extending a qualifying time to the podium. That is a very commendable drive. I don't care who you are. That was just absolute class. We had some really good battles there too. J-Mac and Gomez was a good battle right there towards the end. And around like the earlier to middle parts of the races, we also had Artur and Golf Boy go at it a good amount. But yeah, this was a very solid race. And we'll see you next time, 2 weeks from now, when we go to Barcelona, or sorry, not Barcelona, we're going to Belgium at the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps. I probably butchered that, but we'll see you guys next time. Once again, my name is Patrick Coleman, or Rekas, and be sure to tune in next time when we hit Belgium at Spa. Take care, everyone.